everyone, so these are the materials and tools that I am using for Inktober, or I am planning to use. Who knows, this might change as the month progresses, but for now, this is what I plan to use. So starting off, I have my sketchbook, which is an A5. It's a hardbound sketchbook by the brand Reno Art. It's got nice white cartridge paper, and yeah. And then we have
that's why
my
I have
pencil
this pencil
case over
case.
here. Okay, so first off we have this sharpener by the brand Faber-Castell. I use it for my colored pencils, which are here, but I'm going to talk about those a little later. Okay, so first off, the brush pens. I use two brush pens. The first one is the Zig Kuretake brush pen in number 24, and this one's almost running out of ink, so I'm most likely gonna either find a way to refill this or find a new brush pen. Then I also have the Pentel color brush in black, and this one now contains Daiso Sumi ink, so it ran out of ink and I refilled the barrel with some Daiso Sumi ink, which is this one. So this is the ink. Now moving on to the fine liners. The first one is the Rapido Sketch Art Pen. It comes in this case over here by the brand Noir. And it also comes with its own ink, which is the Rapidograph Ultra Draw India ink. I also use the Prismacolor Premier fine liner in 0.05, and then I have two of my trusty Pilot G-Tech C3 and C4 pens. One is 0.4 and the other one is 0.3. And lastly, inside my pencil case are my colored pencils, or my sketching pencils for this month. And these are the Prismacolor Premier colored pencils in these colors. You can kind of see that there's a little bit of a pattern going on, so it's mostly in shades of pink with a slight hint of purple / brown. Nothing too bright, everything's kind of muted. So my favorite colors are Clay Rose, Black Cherry, I believe this one is Mahogany Red, but it's number 1029. This one is Dark Umber. This one is Chestnut, Henna, and Rosy Beige. So yeah, these are what I like to use, and you can kind of see that this one's my favorite because it's really tiny now. The brush that I use is the Raphael Carrel Synthetic brush in number 4, and it's just a regular round brush. And then these are the inks that I use. So aside from the brush pen and the fine liner inks, I also use some liquid ink to color. And I showed these in the first video for Inktober. These are the Art Spectrum Artist's Pigment ink, and this is just one of them. I have 8 colors that I mixed all together, different colors, to create these ones. So these are my skin colors: red, yellow, green, blue, a light violet, and then a dark one, and then this one's like a Payne's gray. The containers I got from a local craft store, which is Spotlight here in Melbourne, but I think you can purchase them at other local craft stores near you. Like, they're the bead containers, like for little micro beads, that kind of thing. So that's that. These are the tools that I'm planning to use for the whole entire month of October and probably moving forward. So can't wait to actually use these ones up especially. So yeah. Hey everyone, welcome to day 3 of Inktober, and this is the time-lapse video for the drawing that I posted on Instagram and pretty much across my social media sites. So if you didn't know already, this is the first video that you're watching for Inktober from my channel. Then I will link in the card section of this video the previous 2 that I did. Since this is day 3, I did day 1 and day 2. And yeah, so I'm hoping I'm still really hoping that I keep up with the videos. I've never done daily videos before, so this is quite new, and I also don't really know what I got myself into, but I'm prepared, I think. So yeah. With this drawing, I wanted to make use of what I learned from the study that I did the day before. And like I said, link to that video is in the card section. But yeah, so I just wanted to play around with lighting effects once again, but this time not using a reference, kind of just doing it on my own. I already sketched out the pose, and I probably should have used a reference, but I couldn't really find a particular one that was this kind of pose, so as you saw before, I just tried to pose with my hands, and then I ended up making a mistake, so I drew the wrong hand, so I switched it over, which was fairly easy to do considering that I already had the main pose mapped out. And yeah, so now I am starting to paint and to color this girl using the liquid inks by Art Spectrum. And I am also using some water along with it to create these nice translucent watercolor effects. If I use the ink on its own, like as you saw on the left hand side when I first laid it down, it is opaque. And it almost reminds me of working with gouache, because gouache is also opaque and you can water it down to create translucent watercolor effects. So yeah, I quite like working with these liquid inks. They're not too different from the media that I already know and am used to. So yeah, I quite like working with these. The only problem I have with the Art Spectrum liquid inks, and I don't know if this is the case for other brands or if this is just with Art Spectrum, since I haven't really tried other brands, or I haven't tried mixing them together, but with the inks that I mixed, they tend to settle in their container where the colors separate from each other. So for example, if I mixed brown, red, and yellow together to create the brown skin color that I have, the red and yellow, which creates an orange, stays as an orange even when it's settled down, but the brown separates from that orange. So every time I have to use the inks to create, for example, this Inktober drawing right here, I have to shake the container so that it's mixed nicely. And I don't know, like, it's not that big of a deal. It's also not that big of a hassle, but it's just something that I noticed, and I guess I don't really like it because I just want to open them up and then use it directly without having to mix every single container that I am planning to use for the drawing. So yeah, but like I said, not that big of a deal. I think it just means that I don't want to exert that much or that extra effort before actually diving into the drawing. So yeah, and as you can see, I have already started using the black ink for the outlines using the Pentel brush pen, and with the line thickness, I tried to vary them based on the lighting so that it enhances the lighting effect that I was trying to achieve. So where the shadows are, I used the brush pen to create those thick black lines, but then where the light hits her skin, I didn't use the brush pen. Instead, I used the fine liner, which has a thinner line. And yeah, I quite like it. So that is that. Here's what it looks like as a finished piece, because for some weird reason, I think it's because of my lighting, the camera above can't really pick up the right side or the left side of her face, like my right hand side, but her left side. So that is it for this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to check out my other social media, which are linked in the description box. That is it. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in my next one.